Good morning, students. Today we are going to finish off with this chapter, basic accounting terms. So these are the terms that are remaining. First of all, we will do sales that was pending in the last lecture. Now, what is sales? Ultimate objective of every business is to sell what you are for what you are here in the market. Like for example, for the stationery vendor, his ultimate aim is to sell as much stationery as he can, because when he will be selling stationery, then he'll be making more profit. So when you are going to sell goods in the ordinary course of business, that term is known as sales. When goods are sold from the seller to the buyer, it is known as sales. Sales are of two types, cash and credit. Cash sales is sales when you make sales and you receive immediate payment, that is cash sales. But when you sell goods to your customers and they say that they are going to return, they are going to pay money after 1 month, 2 months, or even after 2 days, they are going, it is not going to be known as credit sales. So when you sell your goods on credit, the customers to whom goods have been sold on credit, they are known as your trade debtors. This I explained it in my previous chapter lecture. The next term is the profit. Now see, we have been talking about profit, that ultimate aim of every business is to earn profit. Now what exactly profit is? It is the revenue that you get after deducting all your expenses. Now for example, if I have sold goods for rupees 3 lakh, that is my sale 3 lakh. Now from 3 lakh I'll deduct all my direct and indirect cost to get my profit. If my cost is 2 lakh 70,000 and my revenue is 3 lakh, then it means I have earned a profit of 30,000. So what is remains with a businessman after making all the expenses from the sale, that is known as his profit. So you have two types of profit, gross and net profit. Now for calculating gross profit from sales, only the direct cost of goods sold, the cost that is involved in making the goods, like for example wages, the raw material. So whatever cost is incurred in the factory where the goods are being manufactured, only those costs are deducted and you get your goods gross profit. But there are certain costs which are indirect and which are not related to the production of goods, but you have to make it. For example, advertising has nothing to do with the production, but for selling you need to advertise your products in the market. Selling expenses you have to do if you have to sell your product. Now when you deduct all your indirect costs from your gross profit, you will get your net profit. So in gross profit, only the cost of producing goods are deducted, but from net profit, all cost including cost of goods sold is deducted to get your net profit. That is known as profit. So profit is when you sell off your goods and you earn income, that is known as your profit. Now what is gain? Now when you sell goods in the ordinary course of profit and money left with you is known as profit. What will happen if you sell your asset and you earn something? Like for example, say I had a machinery. Now my business is to sell furniture, but I have AC installed in my showroom. Now I want to sell it off, and I'm able to sell it off, and I have earned a profit also. So that is not profit, that is my gain. So anything that any monetary benefit that you have when you sell your assets, not your goods, not your goods. Remember, when goods are sold and income is earned, that is known as profit. But if any asset is sold, not in the ordinary course of business, once in a while, then and you make earn something, that is known as gain. Loss, when your expenses are high than your total revenue, then is your loss. Means you are not even able to full complete your or take out your expenses, then you are suffering a loss. Then we have deferred revenue expenditure. Now what is deferred revenue expenditure? Now when you do an expense, usually its benefit is consumed in that same accounting year, but sometimes we make certain expenses whose benefits you are going to get in more than 1 year. Like for example, right now you are in class 11 and I have my coaching institute, and I say, okay, I'll be charging 2 lakh rupees. You have to pay a tuition fee of 2 lakh if you want to come to my coaching institute, and this 2 lakh is for 2 years. Now right now if you pay, you have to pay 2 lakh, but if you pay in installments, then you have to pay 1.5 lakh each year. So in if you will pay yearly, you will have to pay 3 lakh, 1.5 each year. But if you will pay a consolidated amount right now, you have to pay 2 lakh, you can save 1 lakh. But this 2 lakh which you are paying right now, you are going to get benefit for 2 years. So that is known as deferred revenue expenditure. So sometimes businessmen usually they do certain expenses whose benefit they consume in more than 1 year. So that expenses are known as deferred revenue expenditure. Then we have cost. Anything any expenditure that a firm or an organization is incurring for acquiring any asset, acquiring any goods, or for having any services, that is known as the cost. For example, say I have purchased a machinery for rupees 30,000, and that is my cost. I have paid salary of 40,000. Now that is my cost of having that service. So cost is the expenditure that is incurred for acquiring any particular asset or service. Entry. Now whenever things are happening in business, whenever transactions are happening in business, then we are making written records simultaneously. So when you just post a transaction in your books, that is known as a entry. So whenever a transaction happens, it is usually a written record is made, and that written record is known as a entry all the time. Debit and credit. Now see, debit and credit, what are they are the two parts of your account. Now this is, say your account is, now there's no logic behind it. This was an account and it had to be divided into two parts. One part is known as the debit part and it is represented by DR, and the other part is known as credit part and it is represented by CR. So the account is divided into two parts. The left side is called the debit side and the right side is called the credit side. So that is debit and credit. Now the terms are solvent and insolvent. Now these two terms are linked to each other. Solvent is a person whose assets are much that he can pay off his liability easily. Like for example, say we talk about Mr. Mohan. If we sum up all his assets, all his assets are sold off, then his assets are worth rupees 40 lakh and he has liability for 30 lakh. So if all his assets are sold off, we will have 40 lakh, and after paying liabilities of 30 lakh, we are left with surplus of 10 lakh. So Mr. Mohan is solvent because he is in a position to pay off all his liability. What will happen if his assets, if you sell off everything that is as all his personal assets, even with the clothes that he is wearing, if you sell off everything, you get only 20 lakh and his liabilities are 30 lakh in the market. He had to pay 30 lakh in the market and all his assets can fetch only 20 lakh, then he is insolvent. So when a person, his liabilities are higher than his assets, then he is insolvent. But if his assets are higher than the liability, then he is solvent. Then we have book value. Assets, when they are purchased, or the things when they are purchased, they are recorded at the value, the cost at the which the company has incurred for acquiring that particular thing. Now that is known as the book value. Now say for example, we have purchased a building for 5 lakh, and we have this is the cost that we have incurred for purchasing building 5 lakh. So building will be recorded in our books at rupees 5 lakh, and that will be the book value of building. But now over the years, the market value of building may increase or it may decrease. Now it may happen that your building is now worth rupees 20 lakh, but it will be recorded at 5 lakh in your books because that is the book value, the value at which your figures are appearing in your books of accounts. Then you have invoice. Now invoice is actually a bill that is prepared by a seller when the goods are sold on credit. So whenever you will go in market, you will find out that there are two types of invoices that are prepared when the goods are sold. One is known as cash memo and the other is known as invoice. So when you sell goods on cash, then you will get a cash memo that you have the seller has already received the payment and goods have been sold. It's a cash memo will be issued. But when goods are sold on credit, means payment will be received later on, then invoice is prepared where the details of the customers are written on, of the date, the value of the goods that are sold to him, so that in future you know that you know the details of your customer, you have a written record what was sold to that customer. So that is known as invoice. Now the last concept is entity. Entity is an economic unit that is engaged in any economic activity. So when we are discussing about a business is an economic activity. When we talk about, say, Mohan Trader, Mohan Trader is an economic entity because it is involved in economic activity, and that is for earning profit. So these are all the basic terms that we have discussed. So now this chapter, basic accounting terms, is clear. So complete all these basic accounting terms in your accountancy notebook by Monday today, and from tomorrow we are going to start with the practical chapter. But for doing that chapter, all these basic accounting terms should be clear to you all. So please learn and revise all your basic accounting terms. Thank you.